Hi guys, it's Jennifer. Welcome to another video. So today I'm coming to you with a story time video talking about how my gaining weight was a traumatic experience for me and how it almost made me depressed. So in this video, I'm sharing three things. The first thing is I'm telling my story of how I gained weight and how it became a trauma for me. Secondly, I'm going to take you through my weight loss journal and show you how it all started, how I began to lose weight and how I got here. And thirdly, I'm going to share with you the two lessons I learned after this whole experience. So stay tuned, come along with me to make a cup of tea and let's begin the story. Okay, so this whole weight gain thing started around 2015, but it became more obvious in 2017 because I had just written my final exams for secondary school and we had a change of setting within the family, so I literally had nothing to do at home. And because of this excessive rest, I gained extra 5 kg that made my weight go from 53 kg to 58 kg as a 16-year-old. But this whole experience became very disturbing when three things continued to occur over and over again. The first thing that happened that made this whole weight gain thing become a trauma for me was that people were beginning to make comments about how I looked. They said I was becoming ugly and getting out of shape. And to top it all, it wasn't just one person. Like there were a lot of them. So like everyone was giving their opinion about how they think I should look or what they think is good looking for me. And you know what guys, it really got to me. I felt like I wasn't good enough. I wasn't beautiful. I felt ugly and I actually hated myself. Like the words they were saying just completely took over my mind and I felt like I was the ugliest person in the world. I felt like I literally hated myself, I hated who I am, and I hated everything about me. In fact, I deleted every single photo I had before that time because I felt I looked ugly in them, I hated everything about them. And I just went to Facebook, every single place I could find them, and I deleted every one of them. And slowly, because of all those comments and the emotions I was feeling inside, my confidence level began to drop and it completely dropped till it was nothing. The words they said were always in my head and I felt like I'm about to break down the next minute. It really was painful. Like thinking back at that experience, it's not painful now, but I remember how I felt every time I heard those words. I felt suffocated. The second thing that began to happen that made my weight gain very disturbing for me was that I was feeling suffocated with myself. You know when people say, you know what, I feel suffocated in this house. Like the house is so big, there's air, but they still feel suffocated. That was how I felt with myself. I felt suffocated being trapped in that body because my weight so increased that whenever I do a little bit of the household chores, I feel this fatigue, like I'm unable to breathe. My breath begins to go very fast. I could never sweep the house once in a go without feeling this fatigue, like extreme tiredness. I always have to take a little bit of rest in between the sweeping time, although my family members really didn't notice this. But since I went through the experience, I knew what I went through. So I felt this extreme fatigue every single time I do any activity that requires me to be active. So I breathe heavily. I feel like I'm about to just faint or collapse because of the activity I'm involved in. Thirdly, my clothes were beginning not to fit me. Like every single one of my clothes was becoming too small for me. And I noticed this in many of my clothes, not just a few of them. My arms was becoming flabby, like all my clothes were getting, like I was getting out of shape, and all my clothes were responding accordingly. And because of those three experiences that kept happening over and over again, I decided that it's time to do something about my weight. And so I started doing research. I started searching. I went online to Google, of course, searching how to lose weight and like everything about losing weight, slimming down and all that. And I came across many methods, but I wasn't really satisfied because I needed something that is going to last me a long time. I don't want to lose all those weight and then gain them all back again. So I needed something that's going to stand the test of time. So I kept searching, and then I came across this amazing woman. I'm going to tell you her name. Just wait a minute. So like I was saying, I came across this amazing woman called Joanna. So I mean, her exercises, her meal plans, her fitness advice were all just perfect for me. And so I decided to start by first journaling what I'll need to do and then getting to work. So this brings us to the second part of the video where I said I'm going to walk you through my journal and show you how it all started and how I was able to get here. So come with me and let's go over to my journal. Okay guys, so this is my journal. Of course, at that time I was 16 years old, so I used a notebook. You can see the name showing Jennifer Anidi. School tips and advice, subject weight loss journey, and the class I wrote beginner. Isn't that funny? So the first thing I journaled down after learning from this lady, like she has a whole YouTube channel. So I wrote how to slim down. You can see there I wrote wash food portion. Consider eating vegetarian. I couldn't do this one. Eat fruit for dessert rather than flour foods or cookies or chips. This used to be my habit, so I literally reduced on chips and I went over to fruits. Set up daily calorie limits. Stay away from processed foods. Then you go to the one say cook more than buying to make sure of what goes into your food. Of course, I really stick to this one. I reduced buying and went over to cooking. So I also jot down to get slim stomach, take more of water, at least 2 liters. I was actually very faithful on this one because I measured my water intake. I reduced sodium intake, salt. I reduced sugar intake. This get enough sleep. I really don't know if I did that one. I started tracking my weight, which was an amazing advice she gave me. And in fact, she said, well, it wasn't personally, she gave me the advice from her videos. It was to everyone watching her videos, right? And she said, instead of tracking your weight with kilos or with pounds, it would be better if you track your weight using tapes to measure. And that was actually the advice I followed, because she said if you use kilos, you are going to keep exercising. Maybe for 2 months you haven't seen the changes, or for 1 month you haven't seen the changes. But if you are going to use tape, you are actually going to see the changes. So that was what I did. I think I'm basically going to give you the story of how I used both meal plan and exercise to lose weight some other day. But let's just go straight to my weight loss progress. Also, she taught me to calculate my BMR, which I did to know whether I was overweight or whether I was normal weight. And of course, I did calculated my BMR, and I found out that I was getting a little overweight. I watched a video of hers and I saw 7 steps to permanently lose weight. And then she gave us a give and take list. The give list is what weight loss will give to me. My first one was self-confidence, because like I told you, I literally lost my self-confidence. And then what that would take away from me was sugary food. Like, I'm so good at eating sugar. Sugar is just my name. So I wrote that to gain my self-confidence, I have to give away sugar. The second thing it will give to me is healthy eating. Like, I just buy almost everything. So what that will take away from me is salty food. Then let me show you my very first body measurement. Like I told you, I actually measured with tape, which is the amazing advice I got. And you can see my weight loss journey started December 30th, 2017. So now I'm going to take you over to my next measurement, which is actually in 2018 April, which is exactly 4 months after that measurement. Almost 2 years after I reduced again. And then fast forward to 2 years, which is just a few days ago, looking at May 4th, 2022. This is where I am right now, and that's it for my weight loss journal. So here I am looking like this. But thinking back, I remember feeling so confident because the work I did finally paid off, and I was able to change my look from how I used to be to how I desired to be. Of course, I wasn't journaling my weight in kilos, because if I should see the kilos not dropping, like, I'm going to be demotivated. So I never really wrote it down on my journal. But of course, I kept track of it on my head. And so I went from 58 kilos to 48 kilos, which is equivalent to 22 pounds. I dropped 22 pounds in around a year. Yes, I dropped 22 pounds in around a year, because by November 2018, I was actually weighing 48 kg. So that was my progress. In almost 10 months, I lost 10 kg. And I was confident about myself again, because my clothes fit me. I no longer feel that excessive fatigue. I was getting compliments from those who doesn't really know me so well. But 3 things happened that made me actually decide to lose weight. People that knew me were telling me, oh, you are beginning to look ugly, you are beginning to get out of shape. So after I lost weight, I was expecting them to tell me, wow, you look beautiful, you look stunning. But you know what I got from them? Put on a little bit of weight, like, you look better the way you were than now. And so my reply to them was, I love myself the way I am right now, and I'm not going to change for anybody. Like, I love the way I look. I know I may not be the most good looking, but I'm confident about the way I look, and I'm not going to let anyone break that about me. And my confidence so grew that I didn't care about what anyone think or thought about how I looked. In fact, that confidence has not been able to be shaken till now. Like, I've not seen anyone that has been able to shake my confidence commenting on how I looked. I know how I look, and I'm confident about it. And so after this whole experience, I learned 2 important lessons. The first one is that you will always be too much for some people. You will either be too fat, too slim, too tall, too short, too dark, too fair. You will never be good enough for some people. I added a little bit of weight, and they were like, oh, you are not looking good anymore, you have to reduce on your weight. And then when I actually went ahead to lose weight, they were like, you've become too thin, you need to add a little bit of weight. And even when I add, I know they are still going to complain. So I decided not to live my life on what they think, because no matter what I try to do, some people will always find faults in it. So don't live your life trying to please people. And the second lesson I learned was to just be who you love to be, and the right people will like you for being that person. Because if you follow this video from the beginning, you will know that one of the reasons I decided to lose weight was because people were giving their comments about how I look overweight, I should try to lose weight. So when I lost the weight, I was expecting they are going to be like, wow, you look beautiful, like, give me all those praises. But they didn't. And when I stood my ground, because I loved the new body I have, because I loved the new person I have become, the right people began to tell me how I look good the way I am. They were wondering if I've ever been that fat before, because they just think I look good the way I am and I don't have to go back to being the way I used to be. So even now, people think I look beautiful. But if I have allowed their words to get to my head, then maybe my confidence level would have dropped again and I would have been miserable, right? So just be who you love to be and you will attract the right people to like you. Don't put yourself in a box just because you want to try to fit into what others think you should be or what others think is good, because even if one person likes it or 10 people likes it, the 90 other people are going to hate it. So just stand your ground and be who you love to be, as far as it's not wrong or bad in the sight of God, and you'll see yourself begin to attract the right people to like you. So that's my takeaway for you today, and also the end of this story time. I hope you enjoyed my story. If yes, do give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to get more videos like this, more story time.